I believe in death, destruction, chaos, filth, and greed.
Hello, my name is Josh. I sing and play guitar in Suburban Hell Kill.
My name's Eric, and I play the bass and also sing.
It was basically inspired by, I was living downtown, then I moved up to Cottonwood Heights, and this just total suburbia, you know what I mean? Just this neighborhood that was just dead, and everything I did, the cops were at my house.
I ain't got time for no wife, yeah.
This lady from down the road, she would come up and complain about the length of my lawn and how green or how brown it was at the time. She would call the ordnance patrol on me. Cops would basically come over anytime I played my guitar, and so that's where the name Suburban Hell Kill came from. Basically, it's another way of saying death of the suburban nightmare. People get really confused when we tell them our band name. They're like, Suburban what? Suburban what? Suburban Hell Kill? And they just don't understand it, but it's just like, death of the suburban nightmare. We started this band about 1.5 years ago. We were looking for a bass player. We tried out probably like 5 or 6 bass players, just couldn't find the right guy, and a mutual friend of ours got us in touch with Eric, and that's how we met. I grew up listening to metal and thrash, started listening to punk rock later on. Eric's a big hardcore metal guy. Adam, our drummer that's not here right now, is more of like an 80s kind of metal guy. So with all these different styles that we play and that we infuse into this one sound, it fits all of our styles perfectly. I think that's what gives us like the unique sound that makes us stand out, because we're not just your typical punk band. From the start we wanted to create something that you couldn't really compare to any other band, which we've done. We've successfully done that because nobody really knows who to compare us to.
Even I don't know what to compare us to.
Oh, it was awesome. Eric actually joined the band later on. We had the show booked before we even had a full band. We had a different singer that I ended up, I kicked him out and then decided to take over on vocals, as much as I didn't want to do it. But I'm kind of like the only one I trust when it comes to writing songs and being a singer. And we finally got Eric on board about a month or so before our show. So he had about a month to learn our whole set before he played. The day of the show, I remember Eric showing up. We wanted to run over the set list at least once before we had to be at the venue, and he showed up super late. We didn't even get a chance to practice at all. So I remember just being really kind of nervous, because we just started this band and didn't get a run through the set first. But as soon as we got to the venue and started playing, it all just came together, and he definitely pulled it off. And basically we've been late to every single show that we've played since then. It's our tradition. I love the shows that we go on later on. It's really cool to show up to a show and get to see 1 or 2 bands before we go on, because it just helps get me all pumped up and ready to go, seeing them play and seeing how the crowd is interacting with them. So yeah, I love being in the crowd and watching the other bands before we go on. And I don't know, it's the same for being on stage too. I always get the pre-show jitters, get really nervous before a show, but every time, as soon as we get on stage and we start playing, all of that goes away, and it just turns into just straight excitement and just fun and good times.
Yeah.
So playing shows and being at shows is just I don't know, it's the most fun I've ever had. I love performing them all, but my favorite song that I've written is called "In a Perfect World." It's just kind of like a fantasy song about a perfect world that I would like to see. A world without systems or authority, without without rules, without laws, without
We believe in anarchy.
yeah,
So we
but,
implement that in our lyrics.
yeah, but not so much like just chaos and disorder. But yeah, I just feel like in that song we just kind of, it also touches on just being like totally being yourself and not conforming. You know what I mean? Like being in the punk genre. You know, all the kids show up and they all have, you know, the studs and the spikes and the mohawks, and they all look the part, and that's cool if that's really what people want to do. But like in that song I talk a lot about just like, you know, being true to yourself and doing exactly what you want to do. We are currently in the studio recording an EP right now. We do have a few songs done, so you can go to our Facebook band page. So we'll have a 7-song EP coming out within the next month or two, but right now we do have a few tracks up that you can check out.
So I guess this is where I tell you what I learned. My conclusion, right? Hate is baggage. Life's too short to be pissed off all the time. It's just not worth it.